What is up, guys? RSC6414 here, back with another video. This time I am going to be talking about the TNA World Heavyweight Championship bracket. I'm going to be previewing it, doing my analysis on all the matches, who I think is going to win, who I think is going to advance, and who I think is going to win the whole thing. So some preview predictions, analyzation of each match. I know some people have made some videos on it already, but I thought, I'm a big TNA fan. Why not? For those of you who did not watch the Halloween edition of TNA Impact, Dixie Carter announced there is going to be an 8-man tournament to determine the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. There's a tournament bracket and everything. They'll face each other, and then they'll move on and advance just like the regular bracket, like an NCAA tournament bracket. These matches look good. They're all eight of them are former TNA, are all 7 of them, 7 out of 8 are former TNA World Heavyweight Champions. Then the 8th guy, Magnus, won a gauntlet match on the Thursday night Halloween edition. He eliminated Sting, and I forget who else he eliminated towards the end. But she allowed the 8th and final spot to be the person to be in that bracket spot would have to win the gauntlet match, which Magnus did. Magnus won the gauntlet match and became the final and 8th wrestler in the tournament bracket. So 7 of the 8 in the bracket, with the exception of Magnus, are former TNA World Heavyweight Champions or have been TNA World Heavyweight Champions at some point since TNA's existence. So I'm excited for it. We all know AJ Styles won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Bound for Glory. He did not decide to re-sign a deal in the storyline TNA is doing right now. His contract currently, he has one till December, a 2-month kind of thing to extend to see if they can work out a deal. But in the storyline, he does not have a signed contract with TNA. So Dixie Carter says, in the storyline, she says, the heck with AJ Styles, I'm making an 8-man tournament to determine a real TNA World Heavyweight Champion, somebody that looks like a wrestler and is fit like a wrestler. She basically throws AJ Styles under the bus and makes a tournament for a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So she says, AJ can have the title and have my card that he took. I don't care. Whatever. We're going to crown a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I'm not exactly sure when this TNA World Heavyweight Champion will be crowned. I'm guessing it'll be in the next month or two. They'll probably drag it out a little while and have a match per each week, each Thursday. I'd imagine tomorrow we have a match, Chris Sabin and Jeff Hardy, a Full Metal Mayhem match. For those of you who don't know what a Full Metal Mayhem match is, it's basically tables, ladders, and chairs. I'm excited for it. I like Chris Sabin, especially since he's turned heel. I think it's freshened up his character. I did not like him as a singles wrestler, as a face. He just didn't do much for me. I think it's really freshened up the character as a heel, and I think it's really established him in TNA as a heel X Division champion. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring. He's facing Jeff Hardy tomorrow, a fan favorite in the Full Metal Mayhem match on tomorrow's edition of Impact. Personally, I'm going for Chris Sabin, but let's face it, TNA and everybody loves Jeff Hardy, charismatic enigma, the creatures of the night, the fans of TNA who love Jeff Hardy. I guarantee you, most likely, Jeff Hardy will win this match in advance. He has to be towards the semifinals or finals for them to get the ratings. They can't really have Chris Sabin win and then people won't be as excited unless you're a diehard TNA fan like myself and watch every episode regardless of what's going on. You know, I think Jeff Hardy's going to win just because he's a fan favorite. It makes sense and makes it more exciting for most people. I'm going for Chris Sabin, but my pick to advance is Jeff Hardy. Then if Jeff Hardy wins, he would face the other guy, the winner of the match between Bobby Roode and James Storm. This match intrigues me the most. If you remember, they had a hell of a feud in 2011 when Bobby Roode held and 2012, a little bit of it. had a or was no, it was 2000. It was sort of 2000. Yeah, it was 2011. Bobby Roode feuded with James Storm for a while. When Bobby Roode turned on James Storm, Beer Money broke up. He went full on heel, won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. James Storm won it one time in between that feud. Bobby Roode is the longest TNA World Heavyweight Champion ever, so he's held the title belt the longest out of anybody in TNA before, had the longest title reign. That was when TNA was really interesting. I've always been a big fan of Bobby Roode. I always liked him. James Storm, I like him as well. Real entertaining to watch. Exciting guy to see in the ring. Currently with Gunner, it's kind of weird to see them together, but heck, what are you going to do? Bobby Roode's a heel. I see Bobby Roode. He's sort of on a run now. I see like Christopher Daniels or Kazarian. They're in part of a stable called Ego. I see maybe Kazarian and Christopher Daniels coming out and interfering in this match and helping Bobby Roode pick up the win over James Storm. So I see little interference by Daniels and Kazarian to come out and help their other member of Ego, Bobby Roode, interfere, distract James Storm or something, and then Bobby Roode hits his finisher on James Storm to pick up the win. So my pick to advance, Bobby Roode. That's definitely the match I'm most intrigued and looking forward to see. It could go either way, but my pick, Bobby Roode. The next match on the other side of the bracket, Kurt Angle versus Austin Aries. Another dang good match on paper. If you remember, Austin Aries had that 3-month run where he won it in Destination X in 2012 from Bobby Roode to end his World Heavyweight Championship title reign. Then he lost it 3 months later to Jeff Hardy of Bound for Glory last year. So that kind of messed up TNA for a little while. Jeff Hardy held the title, then Aces and Eights happened, and everything else went downhill. But that's another video for another topic for another time. Kurt Angle, if you watch the Halloween edition, he lost to Bobby Roode. He was like shaking like this, looked like he was pretty beat up. I guess their storyline is to make Bobby Roode look stronger and make it look like he's trying to end Kurt Angle's career and sort of make that feud what it's going to happen. I could easily see that. I think that would be a decent idea. You know, this Angle's in a feud with Roode right now. Austin Aries, I mean, he sort of doesn't know where to go right now. I mean, he had a match for the X Division Ultimate X match, 6-pack or 5-man Ultimate X match at Bound for Glory. He lost that, and since then he hadn't had too much to go. He feuded with Kenny King for a couple weeks. So you don't know what's going to happen. Austin Aries, I could see him winning, but Kurt Angle, I really see he's a fan favorite, just like Jeff Hardy. He's probably the second biggest star. He is the biggest star in TNA, I feel like, or second biggest behind Jeff Hardy. They're the two fan favorites, along with Sting, who's another fan favorite. So I see Angle for the same reason as Jeff Hardy, kind of going over, bringing some interest and intrigue to this tournament bracket, giving fans something to get excited about. The casual fans should tune in and get better ratings. I want Austin Aries to win because I think he's a great talent and awesome in the ring, and I'd like to see what he could do if they put the TNA Championship, World Heavyweight Championship back on him, but I don't see them doing it, so I'm giving the win to Kurt Angle. So my prediction, Kurt Angle to beat Austin Aries in advance, and if that happens, Angle would face, on the same side of the bracket, the winner of Magnus, who won the gauntlet match to even get in this bracket, going up against Samoa Joe. This match, same with Samoa Joe. He doesn't really have a lot of places to go. He was sort of in the same boat Austin Aries was. He was in the Ultimate X match at Bound for Glory. Just kind of got thrown in there. He's in Main Event Mafia going up against another Main Event Mafia member, Magnus. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Sting will probably get involved in this match. They're kind of hinting like a little bit of a heel turn between Magnus for the past month now, with his kind of against Sting, the storyline there for their match at Bound for Glory. Magnus won. He eliminated Sting at the Gauntlet match, kind of stabbed him in the back a little bit. I guess it's every man for themselves, but hey, you know, I see Magnus turning heel eventually. I don't know if they'll do it now and go straight on heel, full on heel right at this match, but I could see that happening actually. Sting comes down, Magnus gets in an argument with Samoa Joe, and Magnus does something to Sting or something. There's a swerve in this match. I could see that happening. Samoa Joe is who I want to win. I like Samoa Joe. Sure, he's past his prime, but I'm still a fan of Samoa Joe. Magnus is a great young talent himself. He's a promising star, so I'm interested to see what he's going to do. He did very well in the Bound for Glory series, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with him here. My pick to win this match will be Magnus and advance in the bracket. So my pick is Magnus to advance in this tournament bracket and to face Kurt Angle. Now back to the other side of the bracket. If my predictions come true, it would be Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Roode. This match would be pretty good as well. I'd be excited for this match. It should be good if this happens, which I'm hoping it will. I'd rather have Sabin, but let's face it probably won't be two heels against each other. So if my prediction again comes true, Bobby Roode versus Jeff Hardy, this would be a good match, back and forth. They've had their fair share of good matches in the past. They've been TNA for a while, Bobby Roode especially. You know, I see Bobby Roode picking up the win here, beating Jeff Hardy in the semifinals. Hardy just won the title a year ago and lost it at Lockdown. I don't see him winning it again. So I see Bobby Roode winning this match and beating Jeff Hardy in a pretty good match. I could say the best match of the tournament if this comes out to be Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Roode. Best match of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. So my pick, Bobby Roode to advance and beat Jeff Hardy in one hell of a match. And then if that happens, it'd be Bobby Roode going to the finals, and then back to the other side of the bracket, the semifinals, if my prediction holds true again. Kurt Angle versus Magnus. Another main event Mafia members. Or I guess Angle's not in main event Mafia anymore after he left TNA to go rehab for a little bit. So Angle versus Magnus should be good if that happens. I see Kurt Angle winning here to prove that he's still got it kind of thing. Bring some more intrigue back to get some more ratings like I was saying earlier about Hardy and Angle. The casual fans to watch it, get invested into Kurt Angle like the people who love WWE from the old days remember the prime Kurt Angle in 2003, 2004, where he had some great matches, even back in the day, 90s, 2000s. I mean, my pick, Kurt Angle to beat Magnus in a good match. I wouldn't say it'd be as good as Roode and Hardy, but I'd say it'd be still pretty good, hopefully. I think Kurt Angle will win to get over with the fans. He's already over with the fans, let's say. I wouldn't say get over with the fans, but, I mean, I don't know why I even said get over, because Angle's already 10 times more over than most of the people in TNA with the fans. Let's just face it right now. I see, like I said, Kurt Angle winning to show that he's still got it. He hasn't lost a step, even though he's been getting hurt lately. He's going to turn it around. And I see him facing Bobby Roode in the finals of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. If my prediction comes true, Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle in the finals of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. Should be a good match to end. I think this is, since they're feuding, I think it would make sense to put them against each other in the finals. Who would win? That's a toss-up. That's probably the toughest prediction of this whole tournament. Who would win? I kind of think that the part of me says Bobby Roode held the title in 2011. Kurt Angle hadn't won it in a while, but the other part of me wants to go with Bobby Roode. Even though he won it in 2011, Angle's won it a lot. He's 5-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Roode's won it once, maybe twice, can't exactly remember, but I know Angle's 5-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion. You know what? I'm going to go with Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode's going to win. in this whole tournament. I think he's going to become your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And I could see him kind of feuding with AJ Styles, who would come back and be like, no, I'm the real TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And Bobby Roode would be like, I am. And they'd feud like, who is the real TNA World Heavyweight Champion, setting up a match later on to determine the final and the only TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I see them doing an angle like that with Bobby Roode as champion going up against the face AJ Styles, who is the People's Champion kind of thing, and not the designated Dixie Carter champion. So my pick to win this World Heavyweight Championship tournament, Bobby Roode to beat Kurt Angle in the finals, to progress their feud and storyline, and kind of end it at that. Bobby Roode would beat Angle, and then Roode would be your Dixie Carter's TNA World Heavyweight Champion to feud with AJ Styles, the People's Champ, later on in the future, and I think that'd be a pretty damn good feud. So yeah, my pick to win the whole tournament, Bobby Roode. I hope you enjoyed my TNA World Heavyweight Championship tournament prediction / preview. Check out my other videos and subscribe. Check out my Facebook name, RSC6414, on YouTube, on Facebook. That's my Facebook page. Give it a like if you like my videos. And check out my buddy Dave the Wave 1994 1994. He does wrestling previews of NBA picks, etc., some sports. I'll be on there occasionally with some other hosts. So yeah, check out his channel. I'll post a link below in the description. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos like I said, and subscribe. Thanks guys.